well, that's under the table.
Flexing.
Under the table. No, it's flexing.
Is this, I was thinking about that. Well, first of all, I want to say that one of the things I find very funny about this is like, we're no longer allowed to talk to each other.
Right.
Because every time I start to tell you something, you're like, save it for the podcast. Save it for the podcast. Now, is that because we think we're that interesting?
No. I think it's that we're afraid we're going to run out of things to talk about.
Oh, yeah. No, you're absolutely right.
Be,
right. So just anything. Just talk about anything.
For example, Charlie not being here.
A missing man. A missing man is actually very interesting.
Yes. Now, I am concerned. I am concerned for how interesting the podcast is going to be without Charlie. If you think about the show itself, if we didn't have Charlie, now don't tell him this. Well, he already knows.
No, he knows, but that's the thing. He doesn't need to hear that because
he already knows it.
It's a whole thing.
Without Charlie, the show doesn't really work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't have gotten to season 15 without Charlie. Makes me think we should wait on the podcast, but no.
This is the tradition. If you don't show up on time, you lose.
Yeah,
you lose. So here we go.
You snooze, you lose.
Now let's get into it, Rob. I'm seeing a cane.
Glenn,
is that a cane?
Yeah, this is a cane.
Qualifies a cane?
Yep.
Okay.
Now this is my first day off crutches, and I got myself in a shoe instead of a boot. I tore some ligaments in my foot, but I was so adamant on being on time for this podcast. I was supposed to get a ride here, and I was supposed to get picked up. And the person who was driving me was coming from the same area of town that Charlie is. So I think there's some pretty bad traffic, but that's no excuse because traffic in LA, how novel.
That's a given.
That's a given.
Yeah.
So he wasn't getting there on time. I texted him. I said, "Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? I'll get there. I'll get there." I said, "I can't risk being late for this podcast." And by the way, Charlie actually texted us and said, "Hey, I might be a little bit late."
You said that won't matter.
That won't matter.
I
said, "This text won't matter."
This text won't matter.
But then after I sent it, I was still sitting in my driveway waiting for my ride. And then I thought, oh shit, now I've thrown a gauntlet down.
That's right.
And now my foot that's all fucked up is my right foot.
That's right. It's your driving foot.
My driving foot.
Yeah. That's everyone's driving foot.
Yeah, well, yes it is. Well, yeah, so unless you...
I hope.
Well, unless you drive an automatic, then it's both, I guess. But
if you're driving what?
Or if you drive a manual, then it's both feet. Is it not?
Yeah, that's right. That is right. Yeah.
Okay, so either way, your left foot is generally not your driving foot. That's your point. But I thought now I've thrown the gauntlet down. I just got to get in the car and go.
Yeah.
And so I did. And as I did, my ride was passing me by, like literally we just passed each other. And I locked eyes with him and he knew.
What a picture you guys like. Just the like turn as you guys
He was driving so fast that like he almost hit me and like weaved out of the way.
Okay, so basically what we're learning today is you didn't want to risk being late for the podcast so that the same thing that we're doing to Charlie right now wouldn't happen to you.
Yes.
But you were willing to risk your life and Brian's life and to get here on time.
Yes. There was no way that I was going to be late for this podcast.
Yeah. Well,
here we are. This is the video portion.
It is like it's like when someone has been late, and I haven't been late yet, which is crazy.
That is
because I traditionally used to always be of all of us the latest.
I know.
But now we're 6 minutes in, and we got to start talking about the episode. I think.
Yeah.
Unless you got some other shit to talk about.
You know what I think we should talk about?
What
is this office? When this is the video, is this our set? This is a piece of shit.
Yeah, we can't do this. We can't do this. We're gonna step it up, guys.
What is this behind me? There's Meg though. Everybody can see Meg.
Yeah.
Oh, no, she hid.
Oh, she hid. Come on, Megan.
Well, she finally has a microphone, by the way.
Oh, yes. I didn't see that before. Okay, that's good.
Now, to be clear, listener.
Is it on or off?
If everybody assumes that our goal in this podcast was to silence women by not giving them a microphone, you are sorely mistaken. We have been begging Meg to get on mic from day one. And all you can hear is her laughter in the background. Now, we feed off of her laughter.
That's true.
I might live for it at this point. But now we can actually see, well, sort of, she's sneaking behind the camera. But anyway, that's Meg. That's Meg Gans.
Can I ask you a question? So when I realized that we were filming this one, well, not when I realized it, but when I really thought about it, the reality of it, I was like, oh, shit. Like, I now have to like worry about my hair.
Yeah.
You know, I got to make sure I get enough sleep because we don't have like hair and makeup. You know what I mean? It's not like a TV show where you have hair and makeup. Although maybe we should.
Well, we should consider it.
We should consider it.
By the way, people watch podcasts.
Yeah. That's right. That's why we're doing this.
Yeah, news to me.
That's why we're doing this. Listener, watcher, we apologize for our faces. I apologize for my face. Rob maybe feels good about his face. I think the problem is for me, and we talked about this also on the podcast, is like, even though you guys don't see me this way, like I feel like my eyes are. The thing is like whenever I post anything on Instagram, right? There's inevitably like a handful of people that are always like, "Whoa, you look stoned, man," and I'm like, "No, God, that's just my face. That's just my eyes. Like I just have tired looking eyes all the time." And people are like, "Oh, dude, you must be stoned all the time," and I'm not. I'm not. That's just how my eyes look.
Well, I'm looking at you now, and
they're not too bad.
No, they're not too bad. I can see what you're. Yeah, I guess, but I wouldn't have thought.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, okay.
There he is.
Well.
This is out of control.
He just sort of strolls in whenever he feels like it.
Ooh. Took me an hour from my kid's school to get here.
Yeah.
Unreasonable.
It's
Like
it is
I'm
Los
not doing
Angeles.
it. Take a good look around this office. This is the last time I'm in it. We'll find a new spot.
Do you want to express your feelings right now on the podcast?
Yeah.
On camera.
It's not so much about the traffic that I'm upset with. It's knowing the joy that you guys are going to get out of beating me here.
On the first video portion of the podcast, there was an empty chair just sitting there.
Yeah, it's kind of great though.
Yeah, sure. Fine.
It's kind of great. No, but we're the same way. Both of us risked our lives to get here on time today. Basically, like Rob was talking about how Brian was supposed to pick him up, and because of his ankle, he's not supposed to be driving on that
foot.
thing.
I've torn ligaments in my
But
foot.
Brian was running late. So he took a risk and decided to drive with a busted ankle.
Well, now we're rehashing stories that the audience has already heard.
By the way, speaking of rehashing stories,
probably pretty boring stories without me here, right? I would imagine pretty boring talking about your
they're definitely
ankles
better
and
with
stuff.
you here.
We discussed that.
We did discuss that. We discussed the fact that it wasn't going to be as good without you.
Yeah, well.
And we also discussed not saying it to you because you would react that way.
Exactly.
We did it anyway. Damn it!
No, what we said was, he knows that already, so we don't need to rehash it. And
then
he
here we
brought it
go.
up himself.
Well, I would feel the same about either one of you. It's not just a me thing. It's the chemistry of the three of us.
It's the dynamic, baby.
But I was driving over here being like, if I quit the podcast, if they were like, no, we're working in this office no matter what.
Yeah, we'd keep going.
You'd still have to pay me.
We'd fit.
You would. Yeah, it'd be a whole sticky legal thing for you. It would just make more sense to just pay me.
And it wouldn't be as much fun.
It would not be as much fun.
It definitely wouldn't be as much fun.
Jiggly ass chair. Look at
Yeah,
that
pretty jiggly.
This is a janky office in a janky part of town.
Rob, Apple has money. Get a good office.
We're in the Mythic Quest
yeah.
offices right now.
Yes.
And
again, I think that this is maybe this is interesting for the viewer now and also the listener, that people think that like production offices or writers' offices are nice, and they're not. They're pieces of shit.
Some of them are.
Yeah.
Some of them, like the long running shows, the super long running shows, like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, usually have like a set office that's like super decorated and stuff like that. We never do that. We just go from office to office, and it usually looks like this. But I feel like it's appropriate for the writing of our show.
Yes. But I do enjoy,
Sunny.
like, for example, somebody at one point had this wall painted, right?
Yeah,
and then each production came. It was probably some company that did marketing or something.
Why did they do that? What was the inspiration behind that? That's awful.
It was probably like a candle company or something, don't you think? Like or incense or something.
Yeah.
Can I just bring something up? Also, like because you were talking about rehashing old stories. Now, I've gotten some feedback from a lot of people on my socials, and then very specific feedback from Heath Cullen's wife, Emma, who also has a podcast and is a very intelligent woman. Rob, her one note was
for
she
me.
said,
Sure.
well, it was you guys
Don't eat the microphone.
You guys know it was.
He got rid of the pop card. He's gonna fully.
He's definitely gonna suck it at some point.
He's gonna gag on that thing.
He's gonna gag on that.
I love the cameras. I know it's good for the podcast, but
I know. I
just
know.
like-
I don't either.
Makes
We'll
you a little
get
bit more
used-
self-conscious.
feel more
We'll
exposed.
forget like
feel more
we'll forget
exposed.
Maybe we'll get used to it.
Is there a 3-shot, Meg? Oh, there is a 3-shot. Yeah. Probably.
Yeah. Anyway, Emma's note was.
Okay, Emma's note was,
for me.
every time we go to tell a story that Rob has heard, he points out, I've heard this story.
Yes.
And what we haven't put in the podcast is our response to that, which is, these stories aren't for you, Rob.
No.
They're for the listener who's never heard the fucking stories.
Okay, Emma.
Yeah, but
Emma, let me point something out to you.
And she's like, why is Rob constantly
because
pointing
it's
out
hilarious that we don't remember them,
That's
which
the
is
point
totally
of it.
true.
It's
It's
not.
not. By the way,
Okay,
there was an email this morning that you remembered. God bless your brain, man. I want a little bit of whatever you got going on there.
That
because
shit drove me crazy when I read that last night.
Well, there was an email from our manager about someone who wanted to write something about the show, and he was like, does this person have permission to legally write this? I think it was a book.
Because FX wants to ask them about it because That's the email said.
Yeah.
The FX wants to go and ask them and go
I
after
saw the
them.
email, read the link. I was like, I never heard of this thing. You felt the same way, and Rob's like, you guys. Not only have you all heard it, there was an email about it before. And once you said that, you're absolutely right, man.
Did you go back? I don't know if you guys went back and looked for it, but I saw
No,
that